Hello and welcome to another Idle Heroes video. A few videos ago I was close to leveling up the second Grimoire, the Imprint chapter, to level 50 and unlocking the Infusion part for my Aspen. I have now leveled it up. I reached enough Grimoire Essence, I've leveled it up, I've infused my 5 stones, I almost have the 6th one from shards. And I'm gonna go in and take a look. There is 3 different paths. In this video I am gonna cover the damage dealer path, take a look at that and my thoughts on it. I am on my Aspen gonna go for one of these paths and I'll give my reasoning for it as well. Then I'm gonna make 2 other videos, one for the, I would guess, the tank paths and the support paths. I'm not sure if that's the thing. This might be a speed path and a buff path with the up arrow. Not too sure. So the damage dealer paths, there is 3 main paths, and each path branches into 2 different paths. You can see here. So let's start at the bottom. So these all nodes except the bigger ones you see here and here, here and here, they all give attack percentage and HP percentage. The small star ones, they give another bonus depending on their path. So you have a path that gives damage reduction offset, that's kinda strong. All damage dealt, that's also strong. You have one that gives precision, not too strong because precision caps out at 100%. Holy damage, also very strong, that's a hard stat to get. You don't get holy damage anywhere, really. You cannot get it from buffs. You cannot get it on gear and stuff like that. You can get precision from some gear, I believe. Like all these stats are, of course, hard to get. You don't really get them. Except these. Crit damage, crit chance. These you get from different destiny transitions. Like my Natalie will give me quite a bit of crit damage. Scarlet Queen Halora will do a lot with crit damage. So there are some of the paths that seem weaker than others, especially the ones that reach a cap, like crit chance. There's a hard cap on crit chance. You cannot, well, you can have more than 100%, but it doesn't benefit you. Crit damage has a cap as well. You can't have more than a certain amount, so it seems kind of pointless reaching it. Some of these also devalues in value the more of them you have, like getting 100% skill damage when you have 0 is a lot of damage, but getting another 100% isn't the same percentage in damage boost. It's the same value, you gain more, but instead of getting 100% more, you would only be 50% more now. So they have their own special little thing, but I don't think these are the ones that are going to make you choose the path. I think what's going to make you choose the path is these bigger star nodes. And there's 2 in each. Sometimes they correlate to each other and synergize with each other. So we're going to take them in order. When releasing basic attack or active skills, increase self-damage reduction offset by 3%, caps at 9. And then the last note is when releasing basic attacks or active skills, if the target's current HP is lower than 50%, additionally reduce the damage reduction by 15% for 2 rounds. And the path had damage reduction offset, so you're getting a lot of damage reduction offset by this path, right? And then some more when you get the mob bosses lower than 50%. I'm really mostly thinking about these nodes in the terms of like how well I did for bosses. Star Expedition, Void Campaign bosses, if you want guild raids, but that doesn't really matter, right? You just cap the damage number anyway. But they might introduce another game mode at some point where you need more damage numbers. Like the new Dawn Path or whatever it's called. This was the all damage dealt. And I think this one's the worst one for the damage paths. Basic attacks grant self 1 layer of spiked armor. Up to 4 layers can be obtained. So you have to You have to basic attack 4 times. Like, usually basic attacking 4 times is 8 rounds, right? That's not good. That's half the time you have on any fight. When releasing active skills, if max layers of spiked armor are stacked, remove all of them, and each layer of spiked armor increases self all damage dealt by 3%. So let's just say at round 8, you've done 4 basic attacks now, you have 4 stacks of spiked armor, and now you do your active skill. You now gain 12% all damage dealt. Okay, that's not bad, but I literally almost I have 10% just from these 3 nodes, right? Doesn't seem too impactful. And then it says spiked armor cannot be removed. This makes it a very scaling point now, because now these, as I'm reading it, these 4 layers will not be removed anymore, and you just gain 12% all damage dealt every round. Or every round you activate your active skill, right? So in order to actually use this trait, you have to not be energy feeding. Because if you're energy feeding, you won't do basic attacks. If you don't do basic attacks, you don't get any value from this spiked armor, because you don't get any stacks. Once you have all the stacks, you want to start energy feeding, but you can't change if you're energy feeding or not midway through the fight. So you have to do 8 rounds, 4 basic attacks. You do one in turn in round 1, round 3, round 5, and round 7. Then in round 8, you do an active skill, and you start stacking these all damage dealt percentages. So in round 8, you do it in round 10, you do it in round 12, and you do it in round 14. So you do it 4 times. You do this active that increases your all damage dealt. That's 48% all damage dealt on the last active. Then you get to do a basic attack in round 15, but how exciting is that? Is that good? 48% all damage dealt is really good. If you pair it with a certain artifact, it could be really strong, like you gain a lot of damage at the end, but you do basic attacks half the rounds, and I don't think that's worth. I think actives just do way more than basics than to like 48% all themselves. It's a lot, I get that, but the other paths here also give you bonuses, and you can just keep energy feeding instead. I think that's more value. Anyway, the next one is precision. Kinda mid tier. Like, precision is a good stat to have, but it caps at 100%. And this is increase self-attack by 4% when releasing basic attacks. Increase self-attack by 6% when releasing active skills. Both bonuses can be stacked up to 12%. Again, you ideally want to be both basic attacking and active skill attacking to gain both of these effects, like they're separate. But I don't really want to be basic attacking, right? Reduces self-crit by 50 and increases self-attack by 50%. I'm not too sure by this. And in order to really understand how this works, I'd have to like activate it, look at my Aspen, and see, does these numbers change? Like, does my crit here, I have 55% crit, right? It's not a lot, because currently I'm running crit on this. I have crit and crit damage right now. But reducing it by 50%, I have now 5% crit, but I gain 50% attack. Like, if that 50% scales better than the normal attack percent, like if it takes this final number, or if it's the very final calculation including buffs while you're fighting, then it might be worth, because then you can just go way harder on crit chance. Right? You can go it in your void imprints. You go for it in your... I don't even remember if there's the destiny skill here that increases your own crit chance. All that stealth, speed. No, there's not. But maybe some of the other support heroes can do it for me. I don't remember all their different skills. But there is a crit tree up here. You get 20% crit chance from this path up here. Maybe you go hard into that. You get a soulstone with crit damage then instead. Just to lean into this if it works. Like if this self attack is actually calculated late, right? Because we have places where attack, but it is self attack, not attack percentage. It might be strong, not too sure. But reducing crit chance by 50, you need to have crit chance somewhere else then. Because if I only had 5% crit chance, this is not going to be worth it with crit damage as well. Because crit damage over doubles my damage, right? This is only 50%, crit damage doubles it. So, next path is holy damage. And this is the path I'm thinking of going into. Because holy damage is a really strong stat. I'm trying to get holy damage. I'm running holy damage, skill damage, soulstone right now. And this one doesn't require me to do basic attacks. When releasing basic attacks or active skills, if the target's armor is higher than self, additionally deals 1000% of attack holy damage to the target. Oh, that's nice. That's just a bit more damage. Scaling with your attack. If I put this on my Aspen, my highest attack dealer, it's a lot of damage. And this last one is you can now stack this when you do basics or actives, you stack sacred armor on them. When it is stacked to 3, it will last for 3 rounds. It cannot be stacked anymore, and it will all be removed after 3 rounds. And if they have 3 layers, you will inflict another 2500% of attack divine retribution damage on them. So for a few rounds it's a bit more damage again, but then it'll fall off and you don't get any more. So this one maybe not as impactful as this one. Maybe I'll go for this and then go for something else. Then there's a crit damage path. At the beginning of each round, if self has 50% or more crit chance, increase self crit damage by 15% for 1 round. That doesn't really synergize well with this, in my opinion, but maybe you don't need to go in all damage dealer paths. When landing a crit, additionally reduce the target's crit damage resistance by 10% for 3 rounds. This seems like a good strong one if you have a crit-centric build. And then there's the crit chance one. When dealing damage by releasing basic attacks or active skills, increases self-crit by 8% for 2 rounds. Might be worth. For every 2 crit landed, the next released active skill has a 100% chance to deal 3000% of attack damage to the targets, ignoring their armor, damage reduction, all damage reduction, block, dodge, and crit damage resistances. This one seems really strong, and I'm wondering how 2 crits is interpreted. Is it multi-hitting attacks can do 2 crits and then the next active skill? Then that active skill procs this, but will that if that active skill then does 2 crits, will this also trigger on the next one? So you'll just keep doing it every round after the first one? That seems really strong. If that's the case, I think this is the strongest path, because you get crit. You might overcap hard on crit, but that might make this one worth. Right, those might be a synergy then. But currently I think I'm going to go for the holy damage one. So let's just activate through the holy damage one. As far as I can, this is the one I wanted. Let's just keep going for more holy damage. Now I have no more points. I'm gonna get this next time. Does it? Yeah, so I gain another 45% holy damage, 9% attack, and 13.5% HP. Let's go take a quick look at my Aspen. Yeah, so he gained 1 million. So that attack percentage is calculated way earlier than grimoire bonuses, for example like 9%, but I only gained like half a percentage in reality. And that's what makes me wonder, is this the same? Is it calculated that early? So we can like do the quick math, like 9% gave me like 1 million. So this would give me like 5 million. 5 million out of almost 200. That's not a lot. That's like what, 2.5%? That's not enough for reducing your own crit chance by 50%. So that is my take on the damage part of the Imprint infusion of the grimoire chapters. I might mess around with this, resetting. Oh, resetting doesn't cost anything. Oh, that's convenient. Okay, I'm gonna do some testing and see where I land on that. Alright, hope I see you in the next video, where I look at the other two paths. One for each, one for the green arrow path and one for the blue shield path. Have a good one.